What's up everyone, this is Sam from 64 Wheels, back more diecast, and today we're going to be unboxing some of the Hot Wheels pullback speeders. So it's been a while since we did a video on those, and as you can see here, they released quite a few new ones, two different waves with a bunch of new castings, some returning recolors, but a lot of new castings, which is cool because they seem to be putting a lot of work into this line. So if you've missed my previous unboxings of this line, I will link them down in the description. There's been some really cool releases. The price is right on these. I think these are a good deal. They're right around $7 or $8 a piece. They may have moved just a little bit, but I don't know if they're going to go up for 2025, but they remain basically the same price for all of 2024. So like I was saying, there's some new castings, including this one, probably one of my favorites that we're going to unbox today, the 1989 Batmobile, which is super cool. And then this is part of the, probably third wave, I believe. And there's something interesting on this. There is a sticker to say 2024, late 2024 is when this Honda Civic Type R is going to come out. So a couple of the boxes I have are from this wave. So I ripped this sticker off here, boop, and it has the Civic Type R underneath. It doesn't seem to be any different, like the art on each of them doesn't seem to be different. It just looks to be the same car. So apparently they're just wanting you to know that this is coming later, that if you're going to collect the whole wave, don't be on the lookout for this one because it's not coming yet. It's coming in late 2024. But I'm filming this on December 27th, 2024. So it only has a few more days for it to come out to hit that 2024 deadline. I don't think we're going to make it. I haven't seen it online. I haven't seen it in stores anywhere. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the rest of the line anyways and unbox them because these are pretty cool. So these are a line of pullback cars, like the name says, but they include a bunch of Hot Wheels fantasy castings like Alpha Pursuit, Manga, Off Duty, and then they include some real castings like this Challenger Scat Pack, the Batmobile, the Mustang, the RX-8, and a couple other really cool castings. So this should be fun. So I don't know where to start. I don't want to do the Batmobile because that one's my favorite. So let's do the RX-8. So this is one I can't remember if we've unboxed before. I want to say we did in like a burgundy color, but I might be forgetting that one because we've done quite a few of these. So from this wave, the only ones I don't have the Muscle and Blown in green, and I don't have the Civic Type R like we've talked about, but all the rest of them I do have. So let's go ahead and unbox these suckers. Like I said, I think these are a pretty good deal when you compare them to other stuff in the diecast style, especially from Mattel. These are the same price or just slightly over premium price, but I know they're 1/43 scale, but you do seem to get a pretty good bang for your buck with these cars. So they have these nice like little unlock tabs underneath, so you don't need scissors, you don't need to like untwist anything. You basically just go like that and then the car comes off of it, which is very, very nice. So these castings are pretty high quality. This casting itself looks pretty good. This would probably be the closest to the custom RX-8 we got in the Fast and the Furious line, but it has a different body kit on it. This one looks a little better. It looks a little more realistic. I think just the overall dimensions of it look great. And all of these, or most of these, have a moving part. So the moving part in this one is that the doors open, which is pretty cool. And I think the moving parts, door opening, hood opening, whatever, function on these work pretty well because I feel like it's a bigger scale. You have more room to put the actual like mechanism of the moving part. And everything looks good. The tampos look good on these. The paint has looked nice. The rollback action has looked pretty good. I haven't really had a bad one of these yet, so knock on wood that we don't get one this time, but this RX-8 looks pretty good. I like the white, blue, yellow. It kind of looks like the 787B they released not too long ago, but this one's pretty killer. If you're a Mazda fan, it's a good one to pick up. Definitely, these display pretty well for $8. I'm not going to lie. They look pretty good. So all right, let's do a fantasy casting, the Alpha Pursuit. So I believe we unboxed this one in pink before, that it is a re-release, but it is a cool casting. I like this one better. I think this paint job actually fits the police a little better. I always think of police traditionally as either black and white or blue and white or something like that variation. Green and white, I don't know if I've ever seen that in real life, a green and white police car, but this actually pulls it off pretty well. So this casting looks good. It is a fantasy casting, but it's cool. I really like this line in that they get to kind of show you more detail in the fantasy casting. So some of these have moving parts, which we would never get in 1/64 scale. some extra detail. So this is a great line to collect if you're into fantasy castings as well. But this car looks cool. I think the moving part is it the door here? Yes, it is. Look at that. So we actually get a double door pop that has a window as part of the door, which is cool. It's got some pegs in the window, which isn't realistic, but look at that interior. So this is a version of the car that we would not have gotten in 1/64 scale. They would not have done an opening door like this, especially a door that goes over basically the front and the back seat, which is pretty cool. We would have not gotten that in 1/64 scale. So even though this line is a pullback line, it's a scale most people don't traditionally collect in the United States. These are cool. That is an awesome feature. I love that we get that effect on a car we wouldn't have gotten that on before. So we'll try to do a real one fantasy if we have enough to do it. I haven't like mapped it out or anything ahead of time. But here is another one that will probably be pretty popular. The Corvette C8.R. Great looking casting. Again, this is one they have in 1/64 scale. Basically the same casting. We'll see if there's any huge differences on this one because this is a new one for this release. So this isn't one we've opened before that I can remember. So we'll go ahead and take this off. We have, I mean, how many? We probably unboxed more than a dozen of these already. So if I do miss a repeat, I apologize. Whoop. I do like that they put the extra little plastic in there, but this actually looks pretty good. So when you compare these to the 1/43rd scale, the higher dollar one that are $20 or $25, to me, this is also a much better bang for your buck. You're getting very similar castings. No, you're not getting the same detail and the same realism, but if you're on a budget especially, or just like rolling the cars like this, I mean, and doing burnouts with them, these are definitely a better bang for your buck. But this is cool. I like the graphite color. The red looks great. The doors open on this one as well. Definitely not as, I think, of a sweeping door angle as the Alpha Pursuit, but this one's cool because you get to see more of that racing detail interior. You get to see the crossbars of the roll cage, some of the dash. Again, in real life, you can definitely see more than you can through the camera, obviously, just because it's black and the shadows are hard to get on camera. But this is a cool casting. If you missed out or didn't want to pay the $20, $25, $30 for the other 1/43rd scale that are a little bit nicer at Target, this one fits the bill right there. Look at that. That displays super well. And it's cool because they're all Hot Wheels. You know, you get the fantasy and the realistic. I love that about this. So all right, let's do the off-duty. So I've unboxed this, I think, a few times as part of Hot Wheels 5-packs. This one, I don't know if you can see, but this one is actually from a second wave. So the ones I'm missing from this one are the recolor of the Porsche Safari and then the GT Scorcher. I'm missing those two, but I think we've done all the other ones or will do them in this video. So let's go ahead and check this one out. Yes, okay. Again, they've done a nice job on the packaging. I think they display well. I think even if you don't want to take them out of the package, the coloration and just everything about it looks cool. Like these stack up nicely. You could display them just like this if you didn't want to take them out of the package too. So, all right, off-duty. So this is another Hot Wheels original, or we call them fantasy castings. It looks good. Another thing I want to show you about this that I forgot to mention. Do you see this? Flat floor in a pullback car. That is good engineering. These cars, especially when you think about them traditionally when you had them as a kid, they always had that big hump over the rear end that had the like wind-up mechanism in there, and this is a flat floor car that has that mechanism. Like, that is killer. Hot Wheels have been doing some really good design recently in this line. Like, even like that's a flat floor as well. Same here. This one actually has a floor that looks like it has an indentation, and they still have it there. That's just really nice job on behalf of Mattel and the designers for putting this line together. But this is a cool one. It's got the same like mainline beadlock style wheels on it. It's got a very military tan paint job. A lot of detail on this. A lot of lights. You can see more on these than you can the 1/64 scale version of the same car. So I think that's pretty cool. So this one moving part, again, I think we're what, 4 for 4 on the door opening. But you can actually see it has a pretty nicely detailed interior. I would put it up there with probably RLC or even better, just because the scale is larger, allows for better detailing or more detailing. So if you like this casting in 1/64, again, not a bad pickup in 1/43rd. So All right, one of the coolest ones I like in this line, the Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack in a very nice blue. Now, I am kind of confused why they didn't do like a wide body Hellcat version. Because this is, they could have done like the Demon or what, the Red Eye 707 or something, because this is still the wide body casting, but they went with the Scat Pack. So Scat Pack fans or other Mopar fans, I know they make a lot of stuff in Hellcat, so maybe they're just giving the Scat Pack guys a shout out. But this is a cool looking casting. It's got, oh, look at that front tampos, not looking bad. Challenger, they're not lined up great. But I like this casting overall. It's got big PR5 wheels on it. Again, it's cool to see regular Hot Wheels stuff scaled up for use in here in this line, but not that. Again, that actually looks like mainline tampos too, surprisingly. What does that say? Hot Wheels hit Hot Muscle? It says Hot Muscle. I think that's the line of this, right? Or no, it's Muscle Mania, but that actually says Hot Muscle on it. Speed Demons, 392. So this moving part, it's actually the hood, which is cool. The hood actually has some good detail in it. So let's see how this one opens up. So there is no tampos or coloration under the hood, but it does actually have that 392 Hemi in there. It's hard to see, but it does have those classic valve covers and the intake manifold there. It definitely looks a little Mopar under there. They did a good job. And the red interior on this one is sick. I really like blue cars with red interior. I was just talking to some of my Hot Wheels buddies the other night that, like, my goal is to buy a blue Maserati Gran Turismo. They never came with the red interior, and then swap in a red interior from a wrecked car eventually. I think that would be just the dopest thing ever. But this looks really good. Really nice paint quality. Got my fingerprints in it, but really shiny paint. The blue looks great on this. So that one's a win for me. I like that one. So, all right, the Mad Manga. This one is one of the, I always say the name wrong, and people always correct me in the comments. What are the Bozuko cars? It's not bazooka like the bubblegum or the weapon. It's like Bozuko, I think is how you say it. If not, definitely correct me in the comments and tell me how to say it again, because I always forget. But this one is a classic now in the mainline. We actually just unboxed this as part of one of the, I think it was one of the super rigs in mini version in this same paint job. So this is really cool. Look at the sparkle on that. Man, this paint job is incredible. Looks like a bass boat, straight up. So much sparkle. So moving part on this one is the doors, but it does have that classic Japanese exhaust for these style of cars, just crazy looking. I love that they were able to fit this in 1/43 scale. So it does have the aero disc wheels from the mainline, that huge front end, that lower spoiler in plastic. This one does have, I think they all have plastic bases with metal bodies. But again, this has got a flat floor, which is pretty cool. It doesn't really mess up the Hot Wheels design element to that. But let's go ahead. This is we've never had an opening door on this before. So we're getting that cool look at the interior. So you will see, or you will notice, like how this has a lot of the back seat taken up. So that is where the mechanism is. So it does make the interior look a touch funny, but I'd actually rather have that than a big hump making the car look a lot less realistic. So even when the doors are closed, I mean, you can hardly tell that this has anything in the back seat there. So right-hand drive, obviously, because this car is supposed to be from Japan. This one's a little harder to shut. There it goes. Oh, but that is a really cool release. Again, if you're into fantasy castings, man, these are no-brainer to pick up just because they give you that extra level of detail that you definitely would never get on a fantasy casting in the mainline. So, all right, let's do the Mustang. So we unboxed this one, one or two videos ago, I think. And it was a gray and red, if I'm remembering right. Again, I will link all the previous ones that we've unboxed together in the comments below, so you can check them out if you want, because there are some different castings that we don't have in this one. But this is pretty cool. So the Elite 64 line did a similar version to this car with a just crazy bodywork and a removable, like, I think it was a removable front end on that one. Huge rear wing. So this is like a toned down version of that car, in my opinion. But this thing looks so killer. Exhaust coming out of the side. Huge rear valence there. Valence, however you say it. Rear fascia with the like carbon lips on it. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I don't think, does it have, it does look like it has a shaved rear bumper, which is cool. Again, this is a really nice blue color. It's got those turbo exhausts coming out. It's got the 2 hood-mounted turbos, which is sick. And this one does have an opening part, and it is the hood. Look at that. So you can see that huge engine. It looks very unicorn-ish. Definitely under there. It looks like a Ford engine of some sort. Possibly, what was the unicorn engine? I think it was, well, the truck was the prototype Ford GT engine, and I think this was a twin turbo NASCAR engine, if I'm not mistaken, or the unicorn version was. But this is pretty cool. I like all the detail. This actually looks like it has a decent interior too. You just can't open the doors in this one. But if you're a Mustang fan, this is an absolute stunner for $7 or $8. Really good looking car, and they nailed the color. I really like the color on that one too. So we have all, what, 3 license castings left, and then just one fantasy. So we'll open this one because this was one of my favorite castings of, when did that come out? 2023, I believe. The Dominici Veloce. It's a fun word to say. It's a fun name. Really, really cool casting. I like it because it is a mix of a bunch of different cars in real life, and it's almost like a Group B style rally car. Just an awesome casting. So I think we unboxed it in blue. It was the first color. Now we're getting it in red, and it has a very like retro video game kind of paint job to it. So it's blue, gold, a little bit of bronze in there. I like it. It's got the nice steel wheels to it in a kind of a matching bronze color. I love this casting in 1/64 scale, and this scale I just think it's awesome. So another thing we get, opening doors. So this has the same style as the what was the Off Duty or the Mad Manga, where the kind of like the mechanism encroaches a little bit on the front seats, but again, not a huge deal killer for me because you still get a detail interior, and then when the door shuts, you can't even see it. So love this casting though. This is such a cool car. I love that they keep doing it in different colors, because this is one I'll buy in any color. There's some like, do I need this one in every color? No, probably not. But I do actually collect that one, so I'll buy it in every color. So I'm going to save the Batmobile for last because that one's my favorite. So the Mercedes-Benz, I always say this wrong, Unimog? Unimog, right? Unimog, I think is how you say it. I always butcher words because when you hear people say them online, whether you're watching Top Gear or Car Wow or any Throttle House, any of the car video channels, people say things different, especially if you're not from the same country as them. So I like watching Matt in the Car Wow videos, and he says a lot of them, but he has a British accent, so he says a lot of stuff different than I'd say it in my like Ohio redneck speech anyway. So, but this is a cool looking casting. So this is also a carryover from the Hot Wheels mainline. They have this casting as well, and this thing is cool. It is huge. Really nice color on this too. It's more of that like steel greenish gray. I like it. I like the color. It's got a lot of cool graphics on it. Again, look how big. Like this is just like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but you're just like blowing up a mainline to a little bit larger size, so you can see more detail. This one you can see it does have a little bit of that kind of classic pullback racer look, but the front has it too. And this in 1/64 scale has those same kind of axle humps. So it's not a deal breaker for me again. But this one, let's see, moving part is that cool little opening door. That is awesome. Look at that. So it has that very utilitarian seat, a split bench seat, pretty plain dash. Again, this car in real life, it doesn't have a lot of interior detail, so they actually made that pretty true to life. But this one's cool. It's actually pretty big too if you look at it there compared to the Challenger. It sits pretty high and it's pretty wide. It's probably one of the wider ones that we've unboxed. So all right, next up, Nissan people will be a fan of this one, the 2023 Nissan Z Custom. So I have not seen a lot of the new Zs in real life. They're very expensive. My wife actually liked them. She has a Nissan Figaro, and she was like, it'd be cool to get a new Z to match. And we went and looked at them, like talked to one of the owners at a local Cars and Coffee, and they are kind of expensive, like way too expensive for what they are, especially the dealers around here had markup, and they're just not, you know, super great performing cars, so we kind of nixed that idea. But this casting doesn't look too bad. Looks very JDM-ish. It's got that classic red, like I feel like any JDM, you kind of get the red and white because those are the colors of the Japanese flag. I feel like they nail it anytime they do that. And it actually has the little Nissan logo on the hood, which is readable, or on the front. It's got a bunch of, those appear to be fake or like Hot Wheels branded brands. I don't think they're real. As far as I know, let me know. I think that says Hot Wheels in Japanese. It's cool because there's a little, right? Maybe Nissan Z. I don't know. I'll have to translate that and see what it actually says. But this is a cool casting. I wish there was a little bit more detail on the rear fascia there. Got a plastic roof, which actually looks like it has a carbon kind of honeycomb look to it, which is cool. No opening doors in this one, but you can see the interior detail pretty well. So this has an opening hood, which should be pretty cool. Whoop. So it opens pretty nice. And oh, I like that. They have the air filters. Are they painted or are they actually plastic? So they're plastic inserted to give them a very different look than a lot of the other stuff we were seeing. So even though it doesn't have tampos on it, they use two different types of materials to give it some depth, which looks pretty cool. I actually don't hate that, especially for an $8 car. They went to a lot of work. Oh no, look, it's scratched. Oh no. We went to a lot of work to make this casting nice. Oh no, it's scratched on that side too. So I wonder if that's a problem with the Nissans or if I just got a bad one. Yikes. I don't think any of the other ones, especially that had mirrors. Yeah, that's not scratched either. Oh man, that's a bummer. But it's scratched on both sides. That's odd. I wonder if it got dropped or something at the factory. It doesn't look like there's any more paint scratches or anything on it, but I do like the color of the wheels. They're like a dark chrome color, which is cool. So even though that does have some mirror scrapes, it looks great. Like that looks great sitting there. Definitely, to me, that looks more than an $8 car. I think that one has a little bit higher end look to it. So, all right. Last but not least, the 89 Batmobile. This is the one from when I was a kid. I remember like seeing this, like getting the Batman Returns McDonald's meals and the cups and stuff. I love the 66, but this one I saw like a lot of when I was a kid. So I'm really excited about this one. They have a couple versions of this in the Hot Wheels mainline. They have a regular version that looks like this. They have the, what is it, hard nose or cruise version. They have a 100% Hot Wheels version I did a write-up on that's absolutely awesome. That also has a removable canopy like this. So this one, let's look at it and then we'll do the moving part. So really good looking casting. They nailed the 89 Batmobile look. It looks exactly like the mainline because it has a little bit of a turned up front end. They did that so you could get it on the track. This one actually is more flat than the mainline, so it's more realistic. The only thing that's a touch off about this is in the movie, well, I guess they were black, but a lot of them do chrome, but it is like a bright, oh, look at that. That's actually the plastic, like the new Z. It's a different part, so that looks like a painted plastic, which it is. That's kind of cool. I don't hate that. And the black almost looks like it has a like a coating to it, which is cool as well. Definitely gives it a durable, almost like a tank-like texture to it. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so the moving part on this one is the canopy. So I assume you just slide it forward. Nice. So you can see the interior, which does have a little bit of detail, but it is that clear plastic that the rest of the chassis part, the filler part, is right here. So this, and then the interior is the same piece. The front, I think, is the same piece too, because you can kind of see the clear, the acrylic part of it right there, whatever it is. But it does look like the Batmobile interior. Not bad. Again, this is $8. This is a double license casting. This is a Hot Wheel Batmobile. Not bad. So the fitment around there is kind of odd, but any of the Batmobiles that has a slide open canopy, like I also have the what is it, the McFarlane version, like the bigger version, and it also has a little part where you can like slide it forward. So that doesn't bother me as much. I don't think it takes too much away. It definitely looks like a toy when you have a big gap right there. But I still think for $8, this is a pretty killer model. So cool. How many do we do? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, almost a dozen. So we did almost a dozen pullback speeders. So let me know what you think of this line. Are you collecting this line? Is this something that you like to go after? Are these cars kind of things you collect? Do you collect American cars, fantasy castings, JDM? movie cars. Love the Batmobile. Let me know what you collect, if this is something you're collecting, or if you've seen a couple on the videos and you're like, they're not for me, or if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a Mustang guy and I gotta have that Mustang. It looks great. Because some of these castings, even though I'm not a collector of the 1/43rd scale, this line has kind of gotten me into them because these are cheap. They're available. They have awesome castings, fantasy and realistic. So it hits a lot. It checks a lot of the boxes for me, especially when they do stuff like this. If we get a DeLorean, like a Back to the Future DeLorean or the 66 Batmobile in this line, I'm going to straight up lose it. That will be so awesome. So let me know what you think of these in the comments. I really appreciate you watching. This is Sam, 64 Wheels. Like and subscribe as always. I have so much more coming. I really appreciate you watching all through 2024. I'm so pumped for 2025 and all this stuff that we're going to be doing. Going to be doing some new things, lots more unboxings and cool stuff. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.